So, today's video, do you ever feel like, right, you're really good at something, but you feel like you're a fraud? Or even though you're successful in business and life, it could be anything, right? Oof, did I do that, or was that just luck? Can I do it again? You know, especially, like I said, if you've done something like, say, for instance, you just got this really big client. You're like, can we do that again? Or was that just a fluke? We did something really dope for a client. Were we just lucky? Or was that us? Did the stars align, or was it just, so what if I told you that it had nothing to do with your feelings? And that is the biggest problem, feeling. It has nothing to do with your feelings and everything to do with you building the confidence for yourself. I have a quote which I love, right? And it's this: it's hard to have, in my opinion, it's hard to have imposter syndrome when you have created evidence for yourself of you doing the thing you're trying to do. In fact, no. It's hard to have imposter syndrome when you have created overwhelming evidence of you doing the thing you're trying to do, right? And I say that because, I'll give you an example. Steph Curry. Steph shoots from anywhere.
That just typified the whole half. Steph from three-quarter court. Curry hits a three from beyond midcourt to end the half.
Kobe, anywhere. MJ, anywhere. RIP Kobe. Different type of ballers that we've had in our generation. CR7. You guys know I love CR7. Original Ronaldo. Zizou, Kaká, Ronaldinho. Top ballers. These guys are ballers, right? But how did they get to being ballers? They practiced. They created the evidence for themselves. They spoke to themselves in a way that it's like, yo, I am the best at this thing and nobody can take it from me. Look at the girls: Serena Williams, Venus Williams, Kari Richardson, Simone Biles. Look at all the peeps. They be doing stuff. Caitlyn, like, they're doing stuff, which is like, oh, you're not supposed to be able to do that. Well, we did it, right? And I think it's really about the confidence, creating the confidence for yourself. And this is the thing I love about this particular topic is we're not going to be talking about, oh, just be confident. No, we're talking about how to create the confidence, like the actual practical steps that I use and I think anyone can use to actually create confidence for yourself. Because like I said, it's hard to feel like you're a fraud or you're an imposter. If you can actively decide, okay, I'm actually going to create the confidence for myself of this thing I'm trying to do. And then I could go back and look at it and then say, yo, I can do it. So why am I feeling any type of way? There's some stages which I learned this, and what they called, it was unconscious incompetence, conscious incompetence, then conscious competence, and then unconscious competence, right? And those are kind of the stages which you go through to get to mastery. And mastery is the use of unconscious resources to do a thing. So for instance, tie my shoelaces, right? Say someone came to me right now and said, yo, 50 million, 2 seconds, tie your shoelace. I wouldn't need to think. I wouldn't even need to look at my shoes. I just be like, 50 mil for real? Like, do you want both done? I could do both of them, eyes closed and everything, So that is kind of like, that is mastery, right? And I think we need to be able to get to that point where we're like, yo, no matter what, I know I can do this thing. And even if, because don't forget, we're all human. So you may get days where you kind of feel like, oof, maybe I might not be on point today. But you then have a system that you can go back to and be like, yeah, I just created evidence for myself and then I'm back up, So in this video, you know how I do. We attack the problem. We identify the problem first, then we attack it. And then I talk about the practical solutions, which like I use to create the evidence for myself and anyone can use, like the actual practical solutions. And then, in my opinion, we drown out imposter syndrome. Because like I said, I think it's hard to have imposter syndrome when you can create for yourself, on demand, overwhelming evidence of you doing the thing you're trying to do. And even if it's something you ain't done before, you can practice doing the thing you're trying to do. Get it right and then do it, right? So let's jump into the video. Let's talk about mastery. Let's talk about confidence, building confidence with practical steps. Now let's talk about drowning out imposter syndrome.
What's the best way to tackle imposter syndrome?
So my understanding of this particular subject is it's a confidence thing, right? So when people that have imposter syndrome, I think, and based on my experience, I feel like the more confidence you have in something you're doing, the less likely it is that you're going to have imposter syndrome. Or if you do have imposter syndrome, the more likely it is for you to dissipate or disintegrate that syndrome because you have the confidence to do it. Now, when I say have the confidence to do it, I'm going to say, oh, just be confident about it. No, what I'm saying is this: create the evidence for yourself, right? The more evidence you have of something and the more evidence of the thing that you've done, the more confidence you have to show yourself that you can actually do the thing. So business, go and do X, Y, and Z things that help prove that you can do that business, right? You are trying to create something for a particular customer, create that thing for yourself as content that gives you evidence that you can do it, right? Film yourself as you're creating it, because then you see the process. You do it again, and you do it again, and you do it again. You keep doing it, do it 10, 20, 30 times. Then you have 30 days worth of content, which shows 30 days worth of confidence for you to tell yourself that actually I have 30 days worth of confidence and evidence to prove to me that I can actually do this thing. When you have that, I think, because in my opinion, this is how, or in my experience, this is how it's worked. It's hard for you to have imposter syndrome when you have evidence that proves otherwise. When you have the evidence and you have the confidence that proves otherwise, it's harder for you to have imposter syndrome. I'm not saying it's not possible, but I think it becomes way harder for you to have it, for it to exist, because you have too much evidence that leads to a lot of confidence that drowns out the imposter syndrome. So evident, confident, no more imposter syndrome, in my experience. So if you were to try and figure out how to handle imposter syndrome, that's how I would say it. Do things that give you the confidence that you can do those things. And that combined will tell yourself that actually, no, you can do this thing. So be the person who does a thing to have the result. And that's how I think you, in my experience, can deal and drown out imposter syndrome.